I'll be honest, I don't have very many white friends because a lot of white people don't understand that being friends with black people is not just like being friends with a white person. There's so much that goes into being friends with a black person because you have to do all this extra work, which a lot of you are not ready for, to be a safe haven for us, to be a accomplice to us. When you are friends with black people, you have to think about their safety at all times. Is doing this activity going to put my black friend at risk? So, no, I don't have very many white friends because I don't trust y'all. Y'all have given me zero reason to trust y'all. Y'all think things are jokes that are not jokes. White men in particular think going into black neighborhoods and messing with black people is funny. Y'all think we are playthings. And you show that in the way that you're friends with black people too. You think they're your playthings. I don't want any part in that. So I'll stick to, having acquaintances online. I have no interest in having hangout friends with y'all because you've proven that I'm not safe in your space.
I don't think you can be friends with white people and not talk politics as a black person. Because I feel like, especially when it comes to discussing black issues or issues that affect you as a black person, you need to understand what the people closest to you believe about that. If you ignore the topic entirely, it's just a disingenuous friendship because you don't know what they really think about.
I have accidentally befriended people, white people, who are racist against black people, but not racist against me because I'm Hispanic. And I just want to explain why I think they're like that. I know that it's obviously not every white person is racist, you guys, but sadly, here in Texas, I have met people who, once I start hanging out with them and they get comfortable with me, they do say racist things or things that are just not okay directed towards black people, but they're completely fine with me being Hispanic. A lot of times these are people who, maybe I meet them at work and they hear me translating for a customer or someone who doesn't speak English, and so they know I speak Spanish and they find out that I'm Hispanic and everything's fine, and I'm like, oh, this person is fun to hang out with. But like I said, they get comfortable with me and then they start saying racist shit. I think the reason they do this is because they romanticize Hispanic culture. So, because me specifically, you guys, I'm Puerto Rican. My mom was born and raised in Puerto Rico. She lived there the first 20 years of her life until she moved away. And I think they romanticize that specifically because when they think of Puerto Rico, they're like, oh, the beaches, maybe I should go there next summer on vacation. They think of West Side Story. They're thinking about the arroz con habichuelas and the sorullos and the flan and Prince Royce, Bad Bunny. They're thinking about how, oh, the women are so beautiful, the language is so romantic. It's almost like there's this mystery around it because they don't really know that much. And they're like, oh, I love Latinos, I love the culture. And so it's something that they can easily romanticize because there's a lot of things that they like, and it seems almost like this distant, oh, Puerto Rico's another country. Even though Puerto Rico is part of the United States, you guys, there are some white people that don't even freaking know that. I remember a few years ago, I was in San Juan because I was visiting my family over there, and I was walking around, and I heard this white lady on the phone, and she was like, I can't talk right now, I'm in another country. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I just can't forget that because she was older. And I remember turning my head and I was like, girl, because like I said, I think some people, they see it as vacation destination, it's another country. And I also think that these white people that I've known in my life, who end up being racist towards black people, I think they like me because I'm so freaking pale, dude. And so they're like, oh, Kayla's one of us, but she's kind of spicy. They kind of still see me as one of them. But the thing is, if you're going to be racist, just be racist towards everybody. It doesn't make sense to me why you're picking and choosing who you're going to be racist against. And I think the reason that they are comfortable being racist towards black people is because, we see black people everywhere here in the United States. And because of the slave trade, a lot of y'all don't know, specifically where your family is from or, where you're from. You just are like, well, we're just from the United States because sadly, because of all the horrible things that happen, I know that a lot of y'all can't trace back specifically where you were from, And so the romance and the mystery is gone. It's just oh, they're just black people, whatever. And, I think it's also envy because they are envious of your big lips, how, your dark skin, because we see a lot of white people who are obsessed with being tan. And, I think they're also envious of how you guys are just naturally curvy or strong. And again, you guys, I'm not trying to just trash on white people. It's just that I don't even make white friends anymore here in Texas because this has happened too many times, honestly, with me, where I'm I feel like I just wasted my time befriending someone because they, like I said, they end up saying racist things about black people when we're alone to me. And I'm like, dude, if you say that about black people, what do you say when I'm not around? you know, because you know that I'm Hispanic. So, for example, with all the things happening with ICE, I'm like, when I'm not there, would you say, oh, they deserve it? Oh, I trust the government. Oh, well, they're probably criminals. Like, what do you say about us when I'm not there? Like, if you're okay being racist towards one group of people, I mean, I have to assume that you're being racist towards me when the time comes or when I'm not there. And, you know, I know this is like a huge rant and I'm not trying to be mean or like be like, I hate white people, but this is literally something that has happened over the course of a couple years, you guys, that it's the same thing happening with me, you know, and I'm just like that, you know, that I've noticed from white people that I will befriend. And that's why I think they do it, because for a long time I didn't get it. I was like, why are you acting like that? And then I was like, oh, okay. You know, I started to connect the dots, but you know, like I said, it's not okay, dude. Like, just don't be racist towards any group of people. You can't pick and choose who you like. Like, that doesn't make sense.
This is why white people can't be friends with black people. It grabs you, right? Some people hear that and get angry, others get defensive, and some nod their head because they know the feeling. But instead of just reacting with emotions, let's break it down together. What does this really mean? Is it true? Or is it there more to the story? Stick with me, because by the end you might see this topic in a whole new light.
My friend's black. Of course he was late to this video.
Dude, I got here at 5:01.
Is 5:01:05?
All right, man. My friend's white. Of course he didn't season none of this food.
Man, you know damn well. I see you helped
I'm
me
just saying,
season the damn
there's
food.
never season on it.
Shit, man. My friend's black. Of course he asked for a watermelon Red Bull.
Look, don't start that. You literally said that's the only flavor you had in
But
there.
does it matter? That's which
Yeah,
one you
it's the only
That's
one you
what you're
had.
drinking.
My friend's white. Of course it's the only way he's gonna fucking jump.
A white dude just won the dunk contest.
That don't mean he's
I
half
could
black. He's
I
half
could touch
black.
the rim in high school.
Yeah, okay.
My friend's black. Listen,
Dude, this is your house.
you right.
My friend's white. Of course he wants to look for the killer. Look at him.
This is the 5th time I've told you to get out my damn yard.
My friend's black. Of course I don't invite him over to swim.
Dude, what do you mean? I'm literally a lifeguard.
Yeah, and you haven't saved anybody. Coincidence?
Of course he makes out with his dog.
No, come on, man. That's her nasty ass.
My friend's black. Of course he runs when somebody else runs.
Man, don't believe nothing you hear. We do not do that. Quit playing. My friend's white. Of course all he brought was water to the damn cooker.
Come on, dude. You know your uncle loved my ribs.
Yeah, the trash did too.
My friend's black. Of course he's been to jail.
I literally just bailed your ass out.
Okay, but how did everybody in there know you?
TikTok. My friend's white. Of course his ass can't dance.
Dude, watch this shit.
But you got a cramp in both legs?
My friend's black. Of course he loves fried chicken.
I don't even eat that every day.
Nah, just every other day.
My friend's white. Of course he goes to Supercuts.
Dude, it's $11.95.
I see why.
My friend's black. Of course he stands in line at Foot Locker.
I stood in line for your ass while you was at work.
Okay, but who stood in line?
Okay. You be wearing Crocs next time.
All right, man.
My friend's white. Of course his favorite store is Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, we're just doing stores now.
Hey, you got a store, I got a store.
Dude, just please come with me. It's so cool.
Yeah, so is Alaska.
My friend's black. Of course you don't know who his dad is.
Dude, you just fucking met him.
Sure, hired actor.
My friend's white. Of course he has a family member in the KKK.
Dude, how many times have I told you it's a different KKK?
Yeah, okay. Krispy Kreme Nights.
It's a real group.
All right, go call him.
Cut.
So when people say white and black folks can't be real friends, they are not always talking about individuals. They are talking about the big picture, history, power, privilege, and the weight that comes with race. Friendship is supposed to be equal, right? But how do you have equality when society itself is unequal? That's the tough part. A lot of black people feel that some friendship with white people only go so far. It's cool to hang out, share laughs, and enjoy music together. But when hard conversations about racism come up, suddenly things get quiet. Or worse, the white friend gets defensive. They say, I don't see color, or not all white people. That response can make black friends feel unseen, unheard, and not truly understood. Yeah. On the other side, some white people feel like they are being judged for history they didn't personally create. They may want friendship, but they don't want to constantly talk about race. That gap, that war, is what makes some people say real friendship isn't possible. Yeah. So let's talk about power. Friendship means balance. But in countries like America, power hasn't been balanced between white and black people. We all know this. Laws, schools, jobs, even housing history gave one group advantages. That imbalance can sneak into friendships too, even if no one talks about it. Like who feels safe in certain places, who gets judged by police, or whose culture gets respected. If one person ignores that while the other lives it every day, the friendship isn't equal, it's surface level. Yeah, it's surface level. Think about moments like police brutality protest. Many black people looked around to see which of their white friends showed up, spoke up, or even just checked in. And some were shocked because people they thought were close stayed silent. That silence said more than words. It showed that maybe the friendship was fun, but not deep. On the flip side, there are white folks who do stand up, who listen, who learn, and who risk their comfort. And that proves it's not impossible, but it takes work. So maybe the real question isn't, can black and white people be friends? Maybe the question is, what kind of friendship are we talking about? If it's just surface level, sharing memes, playing sports, grabbing drinks, that's easy. But if it's deep friendship, the kind where you share pain, truth, and struggle, then race can't be ignored. That's where many friendships fail, because one side isn't willing to visit with the hard stuff. Yeah. Here is the challenge. Real friendship means being uncomfortable sometimes. It means listening when it's hard. It means admitting things you'd rather not admit. For white people, it means facing privilege and not running away. For black people, it means trusting that some white friends are ready to do the work. It's not easy, but real friendship never is. So back to the question, why can't white people be friends with black people? The truth is they can, but only if both sides are willing to go deeper than smiles and small talk. Only if they face history, privilege, and pain head on. Otherwise, the friendship stays shallow. So what do you think? Have you seen friendships across race that were real? Or do you agree with the statement that it just can't work? Drop your thoughts in the comment, and if you want more real conversations like this, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep talking about the hard stuff, because that's how change begins. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the love and support. I will catch you next time. Bye.